Welcome to another episode of Bogside Chats, where we're talking everything DFK and keeping it casual. Maddie, you make this a lot easier. Or you make it look a lot easier than it actually is. Maybe it's because I'm drinking off my lovely cup. I heard if I was gonna come on, I needed to drink from a glass, or else it was nose goes. I'm just saying.
That was never said, but you could drink out of whatever you want. But welcome everybody. A little bit of a different intro today. Guy, how we doing?
I'm doing well. Maddie, we miss you, but not that much. Excited to have Sarge with us.
Yeah, and that brings us to our guest. He's filthy. He's nasty. He's Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Welcome to Bogside Chats, recurring guest at this point. Pumped to have you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited to be back. I know there was I can't be on when Maddie Pesca's on clause. And finally, I'm glad we were able to work that out. It happened. It's great. It's been a minute. I think the last it's been months if I recall correctly, and so much has happened in even the last couple of weeks. I mean, there is so much to talk about.
There is. First off, though, I do want to post something else on the screen. So you guys saw the promo that we started with for Visages, and there's been a little bit of discussion within the community about the pronunciation of the word. So here we go.
Visage.
Everybody hear that? We good?
Visage.
So we're gonna go with Vizies. So
yes.
I thought it was Visage, personally.
Apparently it's Visage.
I feel like it's kind of a Wingardium Leviosa type thing. It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa,
Listen, I don't speak Spanish well. I don't speak English well. I'm in some in-between limbo where I didn't get anything right, but here I am.
Here
Vizies is where I land.
Yeah, so Sarge, I think everyone in the community knows you at this point, but do you want to give yourself a little introduction? Where can we find you? What do you do?
So hey, thanks for the shout out, much appreciated. I stream typically on Friday evenings. For those of you in the right coast, Pacific, 8:30 p.m. For those of you on the East Coast, I borderline. I send you off and welcome you onto the weekend there. We typically talk. I think I like to think of myself as the DFK water cooler. We just hang out, we talk, and we just shoot the ass, right? And it's been fun. I've been at it for I think a year and a half now, and you guys are some of the true OGs. You guys were streaming well before me. As a matter of fact, tie this all together, Matty Pest came on to dox himself. And one thing came, led to another, and lo and behold, now we got to see your beautiful faces on screen every Tuesday.
Oh right, that's how that started. He doxed on your stream, and once he did it, we were like, all right, why not?
Hey, it's funner that way.
It is.
Before you transition to anything, hit the like, guys. If you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, share, tweet it out. Sticks intern. If you're not tweeting this out. First of all, why you're not in the chat right now is beyond me. I'm upset. I'm insulted. I don't know if we're in talking terms anymore. But share the stream. Share with people. Get more people in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. We don't typically give the whole like and subscribe, but make sure you smash that subscribe button.
Smash
it. Smash it. No, but shout out to chat. We have a bunch of people in here. We got Crump, Kupo, Dags driving Dags.
And should not be talking or texting.
Yeah, no being in chat if you're driving, Dags. I said Kupo, Crypto Grady Baby. We got Eric, the artist formerly known as Erixir, Jeremy, and Bob Nothing and Roberto. So what's up, everybody? Good to see you guys.
Crump's joining us on our wine kick apparently, so that's cool.
Yeah, it seems like he's having a chilled Sauv Blanc. I like that. I went red tonight personally, and it was because I was out of beer. So,
Beautiful.
way she goes.
I poured a tiki rum punch into a glass again. It's just
Nice.
I need to step it up here, guys.
What is that? Is that canned, like a canned mixer?
It's a can. Yeah, it's a Cutwater is a San Diego distillery. Pretty awesome.
Huh.
You guys are ever in town? When the bull run hits, guys, and we're filthy rich because we're all whales, come on over. I'll take you around town. We can go visit the distillery, have a good time.
Yeah, when I can sell 10 Joule and book a flight off that, that's when we'll be ready to come.
Boy, oh
Like,
boy,
oh,
you
let
guys
me
remember those days? Those were nice. I mean, I was much poorer then.
Yeah, the problem is we
Right.
didn't sell any Joule back then. That's why we're here. Otherwise, I'd be on an island somewhere. But yeah, no. So big topic tonight. First thing we want to talk about, and bear with me because I'm usually not the one hosting, but we want to talk about Vizzies. We're all in a tizzy about the Vizzies. So for anyone that wasn't aware, DFK now has skins. We're basically right up there with Fortnite and Counter-Strike as far as skins and cosmetics go. So it's the start of something big, and I don't know about you guys, but not something I was expecting. Something I'm very excited for, but not something I was expecting. Did you guys see this on the horizon or any kind of inkling?
I didn't see this coming at all, but I love it. There's so many things they can do from a promotional standpoint. And it's a lot of artwork, but we know Second Best Dad like draws in his sleep. So I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. But I'm sure he's having a lot of fun creating some of these Vizzies. I like that it's kind of geared around the holidays. And I really like the fact that the promotions of this, the proceeds of it will go directly towards the dev team too. I look at it as a nice little holiday bonus for them because they've put in a ton of work over the last year.
Yeah, Sarge, what do you think?
So much to be said on this topic, but we'll start with I was pleasantly surprised, and I think like most surprises, the best surprises are the ones you don't see coming. I don't know. I mean, it was very close to their best. I didn't expect it. I know it's something KP, myself, and Bolan were sort of alluding to, and I think Bolan must have been chuckling. When he came down to San Diego, he was like, "Oh yeah, that might sound like a good idea." but the idea, the concept of having these skins and being able to do like you said, like these cross promotional opportunities that at the end of the day cost the team nothing. Really big picture, right? As far as your ROI there and just getting that exposure, just tremendous. Kiss to the chef on that one.
Oh yeah. No, and Guy, you touched on it, but the idea that this is going directly to the team, I know there were a few people in the Discord that weren't too happy about that. I think that's a great thing. The idea that they've been kind of running on empty for so long and pushing forward without having kind of a full treasury to work with, I think it's time, especially with the bull run coming, that they start restocking that treasury and like, hey, maybe we hire another game dev, maybe we hire 3. The content will start being pushed out a lot quicker if that's the case. So I'm all for that. There's
anything to get the team more funds. If there's utility and there's things that people want to spend money on for something like this, fantastic. Well, I guess there like isn't utility, but like you're still buying something at the end of the day.
Right.
But I love the idea that it really doesn't affect the in-game economy or anything like that. It's purely cosmetic. It's purely promotional.
Yep. Yeah, and it does open up a lot of avenues for partnerships and for kind of pulling other projects and other people in the industry into the kind of the DFK ecosystem, right? And we're seeing that with the first promotional Vizzy, which is Karate. Karate, and I should know the full name.
Karate Combat.
Thank you, Karate Combat. Once I have the gi, I will I'll know it better. But let me share that real quick. Put that on the screen. So there it is. And with that, they're also going to be doing a bit of an airdrop of the karate coin to people that have that gi, right? So I mean, that's awesome right off the bat. Is it a lot? No, I don't think so. I think they're dropping like 3 million tokens total. So assuming there's good sales on this, we're not getting, this isn't a make you rich type airdrop, but I think it's just kind of scratching the surface of what could be, right? They start partnering with other tokens. Yeah, go ahead.
And I just love the idea of like the whole cross promotional aspect of it. Yeah, you're getting airdropped a token, you're immediately getting access into another ecosystem and being able to use those tokens in another realm too. They did another promo with Tales of, I'm gonna butcher the name, Euloria or something, that there was a big boss bloater fight. If they were to mix that into these Vizzies and I were to be airdropped some tokens where I could immediately kind of have access and not have to figure out how to get started on my own and be airdropped something, I probably would have joined that event. But trying to have to figure out a different realm, a different ecosystem, I ended up not doing that.
Sarge, did you participate in that event?
I did not. Guy Kid, stream of consciousness here. I think anytime any of us has a hard time pronouncing anything, we just call it a Vizzy. Moshka runes. Tell Maddie to forget about it from here on out. They're Vizzy runes.
They're Vizzy runes.
Boy, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Okay, all right, no. I did not partake in that promotional endeavor. It was interesting, not for lack of anything other than time. I think, like many of us, time for me is of the essence, and I've got my, I'm just tied up in a bunch of different directions. But I love the partnerships, though, right? I don't know if you guys saw. I think it's flying very much under the radar. I've heard people mention it, but I think we just need to make more noise about it. The fact that this promo piece, if any of you all caught the karate combat stream over, I think it was over the weekend, karate combat 43, I guess it was last Thursday. They had a commercial playing, a DFK commercial highlighting, showing off what we're doing, these Vizzies. And last I saw, there was well over 200,000 people who had seen that. Not to say all 200,000 people saw that very commercial, right. But how much did that cost us? Again, big picture, probably not that much. So I mean, the fact that we can get more eyes on DFK, kind of impressive. I love it.
Absolutely. And from that kind of partnership kind of avenue, right? This is very different than a project going around and paying streamers to kind of talk about things and kind of, using their treasury to get this exposure. This seems like it's coming from, hey, the team is a bunch of cool people. They go to these conferences, they talk to other cool people, and maybe they decide to fight in their events and stuff. That one's a little unique, but it's kind of a co-mingling and a cross-pollination that seems very organic, right? It doesn't seem like we're just kind of buying our way into these things. Dreamer's participating, Grady's participating. I'm excited to see the two of them. I'm kind of scared to see the two of them fight, but excited, tentatively excited. And that's just because I love them so much. I don't want to see them get hurt, but it's more things like that. And then you look at this other game that they had a bloater boss. We're finding ways to scratch each other's back rather than just pay off for exposure. And I think that's important.
Oh, absolutely. And to your point, if anything, you have it here on screen. There's three different varieties, if you will, of these Vizzies, creator Vizzies being one of them, right? And that's pretty impressive. I mean, that means a whole lot. I know on my stream we were chatting about what that ends up looking like, who those partners are. But in talking to Bolon and just hanging out in Gen Chat, it sounds like, hey, the Bog Sides and the Surge and the Mythic Squads and the everyone, the Grady's, we won't be forgotten. And there's an opportunity, potentially, conceivably, for it to be sort of an opportunity to, maybe make a commission off of any sale. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, right? It's the next logical piece, right? And how cool would that be? The sheer fact that you're not just featured in a castle for a game you like, but that you're sort of
You're
immortalized
participating in
as
that
a
whole
Vizzy.
ecosystem, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would have never thought, and I'm again super impressed by the concept.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the idea that maybe there's some kind of commission or some kind of revenue stream for the person sponsoring the Vizzy, right? That would have been a lot harder to do if this was the type of thing where a portion was going to the dev fund, the portion was being burned and stuff. The team could be more strategic with it when they have all the funds kind of coming into them. So
Yep.
I'm sure Karate Combat is getting some kind of cut of Vizzy sales, and that's probably helping to pay for that airdrop that they're giving, right? So we're talking about feedback loops a lot in the game. Now we're talking about feedback loops in the economy surrounding the game. So I think that's really cool.
Are any of you? And I'm not saying it because I am, but because it's stuff I've heard. We'll get to the soulbound conversation in a minute.
We
I'm
we
sure.
have to, yes.
But another component to that conversation I've heard is that there is a contingent, small small maybe, but there is a contingent of people who are bothered by the fact that these Vizzies are being transacted in USD and not Jewel, for example. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I personally, I mean, it doesn't make too much of a difference. And if anything, it maybe makes things a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think it makes it a lot simpler too, because I think this is meant to be kind of like a tip to the devs, if you will, too. So now there's no pressure for them of like selling Jewel and having price impact of Jewel if these Vizzies end up having a lot of success. Just having the purchase right in USD simplifies that whole step there.
Yeah, it's the type of thing where I could see maybe down the line when they're more comfortable with this process as a team, I could see maybe them switching. Or I thought they did say that you can transact in whatever token you want, but it's going to be that standard locked USD amount. Like they'll convert Jewel for you type of deal, I think. I might be lying there. But yeah, I think it's just about stabilization in the price. And, maybe that's another idea. There are things with Karate Combat and some other sponsors where they're dedicating a certain amount and they don't want price fluctuation to make it so that they're paying a bigger part of the pie than they maybe planned for. And that's all speculation, but
right.
Yeah.
No, two things. One, so maybe in an effort for you guys to just bring me on more often. There's about 30 of you in here, and there's only 15 likes, guys. Come on, let's get those numbers up. Yeah,
I like this.
Subside.
We need more of this. We haven't told people to subscribe in ages. Since
subscribe.
C9N for the early listeners, who was one of our original castmates. He used to say it all the time and yell at us when we didn't say it. So it's
do it.
We need to.
No, but it's sort of tying in with the two of you are saying. If you recall some of the earliest critiques of the funds, we all thought at one point in time that there was an overexposure to Jewel and in-game assets. The fact that hey, you're potentially receiving some of this revenue in USD. Now you've diversified sort of your dev fund so that it's not just in Jewel. And if and when Jewel climbs, you're not putting sell pressure by dumping some of this conceivable Jewel that you've made. It's now a non-issue.
Yeah, no, and that's something that I think they learned their lesson back before this long bear market as far as holding too much Jewel and stuff like that. But no, it's a very good point, right? Because that was a topic of conversation during the last run-up that, hey, the team was putting on sell pressure that they kind of had to, right? Because they need real money for certain things, server costs, things like that. Not going to be Jewel isn't going to be accepted for that. But yeah, no, I'm okay with the USD thing. One thing that, just to segue a little bit to the conversation that I think more people are interested in, the title of this stream was a play on words, a poor one, I might add, to the idea of soulbound. And we do have Sticks Intern in the chat here. I think we need to give him a round of applause. He went on KP's stream and really talked it out with him as far as the legal side of things, and kind of said a lot of what the community was thinking. But I think the DFK team needs to get some credit here, because originally when Visages came out, Visages, Vizzies,
Busies.
they were going to be soulbound. It was something I wasn't happy with. I don't know that I knew anyone in the community that was happy with it. And it took a total of 4 days for them to shift away from that. So cheers to them for listening. I'm a lot more comfortable with this. Now, I know I personally, and I want to hear from you guys, I personally was not going to buy one if they were soulbound. A little form of small protest. I wanted nothing to do with it if it was soulbound.
Yeah,
That's-
I
yeah.
very similar sentiment, that the fact the team was able to pivot so quickly and really listen to the community of, they're doing so many things in the Web3 space, really pioneering the whole field. And to do like an audible like this of like shifting to something that's really soulbound, we can get into the whole void shards conversation too later too.
Well,
But
I want to.
listening to the community when it comes to the Vizzies, I think was a really, really smart move on their side. And there's probably extra steps that need to happen. I think that's part of the reason why we haven't seen Vizzies go live just yet. That this will add a couple wrinkles to the initial rollout of it, but I think it'll be much better for the long-term health ecosystem of the whole thing. If you want to do the whole COD and you want to do the whole Fortnite comparison aspect of, if we made these things soulbound, we're no different than those Web2 games when it comes to these cosmetics and these skins.
Right. As someone who had a Fortnite account on a Xbox and then switched over to PS4 and couldn't access it anymore, I was not very happy.
Bummer.
Sarge, what do you think about all this?
I enjoy being an advocate of the devil. So I'll start there, and then I'll give you my true feelings. So my first initial thought was, hey, you know what? This is a way to reward those early players. Maybe Vizzies don't do anything for you, but maybe they unlock features down the road where you can only play. You can only enter said LAN tournament if you have XYZ Vizzy. And then, hey, it's sort of a nod to those old timers who stuck around through thick and thin, right? So there's that piece. The other piece too is, this idea of, hey, you make it so bound, if you all, going back to some of the complaints that many people were making, or at least, a very loud bunch were making. Hey, you're rewarding. You're rewarding whales, right? If you make Vizzies not so bound, then you could just sell to the highest bidder, and shame on you, because it shouldn't be it shouldn't be that way. Which, again, devil's advocate. So from that perspective, I thought twice about it, and then it boiled down to, at this stage in the game, I've learned to maybe second guess the team from time to time, and maybe bring it up to their attention. And if they say it's this way, it's probably for a good reason. But it was a good stark reminder to say, hey, or to sort of maybe see it from the other way as well, to sort of think of it from the perspective of, hey, you know what, they're great, they mean well, but maybe sometimes they do get it wrong. And I think this was a good opportunity, or a good example of a time they maybe got it wrong. I don't think it was ill-intended. I think SI during the stream with KP sort of maybe getting at some of the points as to why he maybe thought the team was heading in this direction, sort of maybe a bit extra cautious for all the right reasons, right?
That's
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, how it's gonna be super cool to sort of be able to trade those things. And if you're gonna call yourself a true Web3 game, if these were so bound, then bare minimum you're not meeting the definition of what a Web3 game would be.
yeah.
And
No,
and Workhorse basically said it now. The inmates now officially are running the asylum. Anything we say is now gospel, and we have complete control over the realm.
Yeah,
we did it, guys. We did it.
one time over. It only took a year and a half to maybe get one right.
Yeah. No. No. And cheers for the team for listening. But I want to be clear, right? I don't think they listened just because we yelled loudly. I think they listened because we were making good points. For me, it was more about the practical reasons, right? In crypto, there are countless reasons that can come up where I would want to switch my wallet. One of the big ones, and we love Helper on this pod, but there may come a day where I want to get off of Helper, where something happens. I just want to be away from that account, and I've given up the private keys for that account. Someone else has them. So I never will consider that account totally safe, right? Because there are just more kind of points of failure, right? So especially with expeditions coming out, there's probably a good amount of the community that's like, yeah, expeditions come out, I can move off of Helper, I can get a wallet that's completely safe. But now, am I going to buy Vizzies on that Helper wallet if I'm planning to move off it? And that kind of leads me to the other point that I have. I don't think the fight's over.
Yep.
I don't think the fight's over. I want to fight the good fight about void shards because I have the same issues with all these Vizzies. I have the same issue with void shards. If expeditions are coming, if I want to move off, I want to take those void shards with me.
And I think it's a very interesting conversation. I connecting the Vizzies, connecting the void shards, and anything else that may, come along that would be quote unquote soulbound. I'm gonna take SI down a notch because his ego is already like so big. So I'm not gonna give him as much credit as he maybe deserves.
Drag him.
But I was in Gen Chat and Ogre jumped on, and he was having a conversation with Bolin, and he's like, "Hey, let me give you my 2 cents. Forget selling things for a profit. Forget any of that piece. My wallet's been compromised, and any of these people's wallets can be compromised too.
Absolutely.
If and when that happens, the last thing you want from a Web3 game is to not be able to own your own assets, to be able to move them from one place to another. They were able to move Lock Jewel. Why wouldn't you be able to move a soulbound item? I mean, really, it sort of seems silly at that point. Void shards, right? If your account is compromised, forget selling those, right? I mean, just being able to transfer those because something did. Maybe you want to move away from Helper, but nefariously, if you're thinking that way, maybe your account got compromised. What are you to do at that point? Are you just gonna walk away in the game with nothing? I mean,
right. And Mellow Green Giant in the chat, iOS code says that there's a convincingly good reason for them being soulbound. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but I'm looking at the chances of a wallet being compromised, but also just the idea of now rewards versus later rewards, right? And I asked this question in AMA, and Hubert was saying basically, the void shards, they're going to open up things that come later. For in more words, he said you just kind of have to wait for the rewards to come from that.
The way I'm feeling about void shards is it's the progression mechanism of the game. You're going to be building up these void shards in your account to show the number of matches that you've played and you've won. And you don't want the pay to win mentality of a whale being able to skip the entries to the game.
But why not? Right? Because, and I get the idea of pay to win, right? But this is Web3. Pay to win is always going to be a thing. And something I want to talk about later, we have another discussion topic where I'm going to kind of go over how to.
And if you also if you look at game mechanics too, you've got like any RPG, you've got your tutorial island, you've got your entry level area, and then you've got your like mid tier, and then you've got your end game content. If you're, a veteran gamer and you don't want to go through the grind of tutorial island and you want to skip that part of the game, you should be able to if you want to, if you're willing to pay the cost to get to that level of content.
Right. Is it not a deterrent to whales that want to hop into the game? Like, so say DFK takes off, like I think we all here think it's going to, right?
Yep.
5 void hunts down the road, a whale with, $500,000 wants to jump in and spend it all on DFK. But then he gets there and he goes, oh, the content that I'm seeing on all these streams, I can't access that yet. I can't even buy my way to that 5th void hunt, right? I have to start at the beginning. Oh, maybe I don't want to spend all that time. Like my money was my way of avoiding that kind of grind, right? like I don't know, is that a deterrent? And then also, are you kind of taking away the idea of, say, someone who doesn't have the biggest of wallets, right? Someone who has a few heroes, they're at level 10, they're trying to extract value, so they're not leveling those heroes up. What if they want to just keep doing boar hunts for forever and harvesting those void shards and selling them off? And that's how
They don't
they're
care
going to make a
about
profit.
end game content. They want to hop into Tutorial Island, for my example, and kill level 1 boars in perpetuity. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Sarge, what do you think about all this?
It's an interesting topic. I think like Mellow Green was saying, maybe it all makes sense down the line, and I'm sure it will. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to be I don't want to have my blinders on either. But let me pitch this to you, friends. What if, down the line, void shards are soul bound, yes, but you redeem 5 void shards for an entry ticket to land tournament, and that land tournament ticket that you could trade around and sell around. Does your mind change? Do things change for you rather than seeing it as a non-transferable NFT? It's more of a non-transferable, I don't know, a ticket to something bigger that can be transferable.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think that's super interesting. I think there's still the idea of compromised accounts and stuff like that, but that's, I think, kind of a cop out to the argument. Before you kind of finish that, my rebuttal was going to be, okay, if they give you entry into a land tournament, then I can sell them for so much, let me sell them. But if I can then sell that ticket instead, yeah, that seems like an amicable kind of solution there. I like that. And maybe they do have things like that planned. I don't want this to be a salty friends, like I'm not happy with the team. It's just, to me, the kind of the gusto we got for the visages, I didn't see the same for void shards, and to me it's the same. It seems like maybe not everyone in the community feels that way, but
Yeah. I'm okay being patient to see what this functionality is. We're definitely in reckless speculation territory. I think we've got some hunches, and I think we might be in the ballpark, but we won't know until we know. It's kind of like in the team I trust, but, and that's kind of how I feel right now. Of like, I do fully have full faith in the team of like what they're thinking is probably in the right mindset. But I just want them to stay open to the concepts.
yeah, and Mel Green Giant kind of elaborating on his point. Don't think it's about pay to win. I think it's about the team having a way to reliably reward people who are long-term participators. And maybe that's a discussion that we should have. And that's a good point. I think it's kind of just multiple ways to skin the cat. I'm seeing it as reward me by letting me sell my hard-earned work. But yeah, it does work that way too. So
Well,
Koopa made a point about WoW and Final Fantasy 11 too. If you want to highlight that one, that's an interesting idea too, because there was a whole dark market within WoW of selling accounts. With WoW, you had to. Did I freeze voice wise?
Yes.
Yeah,
Your voice, we can hear you, but we can't see.
That was a bad picture.
it's been a recurring issue for you there, guy.
Yeah, exactly. But with WoW, there was a whole dark market of being able to sell level 60 accounts. Like the level 1 to level 60 grind, it takes a good hour a level. So it's a 60-hour commitment just to enter into end game content. And then there's probably another 60 to 100 hours easily of progressing gear with end game content as well. So there's a whole dark market that was created within WoW to be able to buy a level 60 hero, and then also to be able to buy gear as well to get your hero immediately ready for endgame content. That was very anti what WoW wanted, and they actually tried to ban accounts that were identified as being sold that way. But in the Web3 space, should we encourage and should we allow stuff like that?
Yeah, well, so it's interesting because selling accounts in crypto is not a thing. Like, It's just not possible, right? Because if I'm selling you an account, I'm essentially giving you those private keys that you're now going to have if you're doing it for a soulbound item that you can't immediately switch out of that account into one you know is safe, that account is always compromised because I have the private keys that I gave you, right? I don't. Maybe there's a service out there that kind of does this in a way with like, zero proof contracts. I don't even think that's the right term. But maybe there's something out there I'm not aware of. But or
God,
zero knowledge proofs is what I was trying to say there. But yeah, I don't think that's possible. So, Bob, nothing chiming in. Hypothetical whale can buy a level 20 Mythic Dread Knight. They should probably be able to buy their way to all the content void shards we're gating. So, of course, I pulled that up on the screen because it was aligned with my thinking.
Hey, at the end of the day, I mean, let's be honest, right? Land's cool, awesome heroes are cool, pagers are cool, but if we're not here to say we'd like to make $1 on the side, then we're all lying to ourselves, right? And at the end of the day, I know my heroes, they're not going to be, let's say, conceivably speaking, void shards are the way, the gate, to the way, the key to open the gate to land tournaments. Fuck, I don't have a chance. I've seen your tweets, France. You've got some pretty epic heroes. I don't have but maybe there's someone out there who has a chance, and I may make more money out of selling that opportunity than I ever would by participating in the tournament.
And we officially lost Guy.
Of
Welcome
course, he
to
did. He didn't like my statement. I get it.
Yeah, no, he was so put off by that he was like, you know what, I'm out of here. No, he's dealing with technical issues that he's been dealing with for a few weeks now, so he'll be back. And here he is. Hey, Guy. Yeah, no, the idea of what it might unlock, I think, is an interesting conversation. I think it's. Do you guys think that it's going to unlock the next Void Hunt? I guess that's kind of a basic. Do you think it's going to be something further in the future, or do you think I'm going to need Void Shards to do this next Void Hunt?
I wouldn't be surprised if you need 5 or 10 for the next Void Hunt, but it's not like you're going to have to pay 5 Void Shards. It's if you have 5 Void Shards in your account, you qualify to contribute.
Oh, interesting. Because when you first said that, I was like, holy shit, 5 or 10. So I could play, 3 times and I'm done. Okay, so you're using it as kind of a counter.
And I think that's why they're also like soulbound and wallet bound, of like they're not meant to be currency. They're meant to be like this count aspect of kind of almost a marking on your account.
That's interesting. I don't hate that. I think there needs to be a scale then, because if once we find out what it is, if the counter is just 5, why am I playing Void Shards past, or why am I playing Boar Hunt past that 5, right? Like I have 30 right now. No big deal, not to brag. Why kind of keep going? I don't know. It's interesting.
France, you would bring me on and flex on me some more. I get it. It's cool.
I mean, have I mentioned my archer?
Oh, god damn it. What's his dex?
Oh, man. It's high. It's high. I forgot it's so high.
I'd also, not to do another WoW reference, because I know this is right over your head, but like you've got your regular raids and you have your mythic raids. I could see an environment of like you've got 30 Void Shards. Well, you could use Void Shards of different entry levels from a difficulty level on the other side. I know the boars right now scale with level, but maybe there could be an environment of, if you have 10 Void Shards, you qualify for the normal Void Hunt. If you have 20, you qualify for the difficult one. If you have 30, you qualify for the extreme one, but the extreme one has an 8% drop rate rather than a 1% drop rate or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to kind of take that back to like a bigger picture thing, it's hard to kind of talk about this stuff, right? Because we're going off the knowledge that we have, the content that we see, and Hubert and Workhorse and Beetle Dude and everyone else on the team there, they have the big picture. I'm sure there's a whiteboard somewhere that we would all pay good money to see, where a lot of the future content is mapped out. And this stuff might seem a lot more compelling if we knew how it was going to be wrapped in. You say things like mythic raids and, you know, legendary raids, what have you. You know, right now we can kind of see the wall in front of our face, which is boar hunts. So
So when we were see, I can't flex much on you, friends, but I'll flex this way. when I was hanging out with Bolon and KP.
that is a flex. Damn.
Oh.
I've never hung out with either of them.
Soon. I was talking to KP. I was like, "Hey, you're part of the team." By the way, I got less alpha from that meetup than like in the combination of all the they puckered up more in person than when they're on.
You got to get them drunk. You got to get them super drunk and then start asking questions.
No, the more they drank, the less they spoke. I'm telling you,
they're well trained. They're well trained. They know the clam up.
But I asked KP. I was like, "Hey, KP, you know, what are your thoughts? You're on the team. Like, what do you see? What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, I can't tell you anything, as you can imagine. But let me tell you what he did say was something to the effect of like, we're all looking at DFK through such a narrow lens that if you saw the bigger picture, you'd be blown away like I was." And that's like, you know, in true KP fashion, like anytime he speaks, like I become even more bullish on the game. But just hearing those words, I mean, he's absolutely right. And part of this conversation today is, you know, we're speculating is, we are looking at it through a narrow lens because we don't have much to look at. But the bigger picture, boy, that big picture, when we get there, I think we're all going to be looking back and just thinking, boy, wow, French, you wanted to sell your void charts. What were you thinking, man? I think we'll all be pleasantly impressed and surprised.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I still don't want it to be soulbound, but I think to move on a little bit, there are some other things aside from visages that have been kind of happening in the community. And shout out Bob Nothing, he just brought up one of them. So I'm gonna switch the screen now. I just realized that we've been kind of on the same screen for a while here.
That poor boar.
Yeah, boar's just getting messed up. Oh, that's the wrong button. So we did have a new update from the ADFK website that I'm very excited about. They added a box plot graph to the hero pages. No, I got it. It was just taking me a while. So that shows you exactly where your hero stands compared to other heroes of their level and class, right? So if I have a knight that is, you know, level 10, and I'm going to pull one up right now, and I'm not logged in, so it's not going to show me. Oh, jeez. All right, guy, why don't you
I have it
up?
on
I don't
my
have
side.
anything saved in here.
So this is actually summoning pair I've been working with. So I've got an archer that's level 1. So this probably isn't that fun to look at. But I can look at Kythe Rain Temper, who might be my favorite hero.
Okay, let's see it.
Level 13 monk.
I remember when you summoned this monk. It was back when legendaries went for over $1,000.
Yeah.
And yet you still have this monk, so we see you made the wrong decision there.
Because I tried selling her for $1,000 and the market was priced at 600, and I was like, I'm not selling her for 600. She's worth at least 1,000. But anyways, Kythe is my girl. But yeah, so we got the box plot that shows the top hero at this level, the bottom hero at this level, and then the box itself is the middle 50%. Is that how it works?
Yes, I think so.
So going back to my high school math days.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've done, since this came out yesterday, day before, I've done a few level ups of some of my top heroes, and it's really kind of changed the way that I've looked at this at the level up, right? Rather than just pounding the same stats, if I was seeing something was a little bit below average, or, you know, if I saw that my health was towards that top of that bar, I was kind of waiting on vitality a little bit, maybe spreading it around to other things. I don't know. It's a very cool concept and a cool way to kind of look at where you stand in relation to everything
pretty
else.
much for all my heroes, I usually level up vitality. So I think she's been like the 50% level up for vitality. And her vitality is like right in the middle for monks. But then when you go look at her HP score, she's actually had bad HP rolls where she's at the bottom of that tier, bottom of that box from actual HP.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the one thing we can't control, right? The vitality gives you that, excuse me, gives you that added boost, but you're still getting that kind of random small, medium, or large HP boost off of it.
Yeah,
So
she's had even worse rolls from a mana pool perspective.
Yeah.
What you're saying, Guy Kid, is that maybe this monk was a $600 monk and not $1,000 monk.
Oof.
Yeah, exactly. Now
truth.
she's not a $600 monk.
Difficult truths. Yeah, no. So if anyone hasn't checked this out yet, definitely do. It's the graph is fun too, as far as the stat history and kind of when these stats came in. Yeah, no, it's a lot of good data. We were talking to Workhorse about when he was on a few weeks ago about kind of opening up the API more in terms of combat to allow third-party sites like this to give us more kind of data on the meta. Like, just think if we can have this kind of stuff around what moves are used most in boar hunts, right? What kind of setups are most common? What are the most winningest, right? It's interesting stuff, and I think the future's bright as far as what these third parties could build. So, yeah,
it's pretty awesome. I was listening to the stream, which I must say, when you're talking charts and graphs,
not a
it's
great
not
one
the
to listen
same.
to.
No, yeah. If ever there was one you watch instead of listen, that was probably one of those episodes. But seeing it, oh my god! I mean, it's pretty impressive. Very nice to see, and and I'm thinking about it from the perspective of, hey, I'm sure you all have had this come across. You run into two heroes you really like, you try and choose one from the other, and you think, one's better than the other, but now you can conceivably factually see which one might be the better of the two.
Well, so this is one I found out, and Guy, you're suffering from some very low HP on this hero. That's what I was going to show. If you can type in ID 149988. So this is one of my oldest heroes. This was one of the first that I used in DFK Fight Club. Oh, did I?
No, I'm going to add you over there.
Okay. It should be a warrior when it pulls up.
I'm keeping my priest up.
Okay.
It's not working though, so.
Sick. There he is with his birthday hat on. So this right. Yeah, so you see right away if you look at that HP bar what the issue is, right? This is one of my oldest heroes. It has a ninja sub. I've used a greater atonement crystal on it. I love it, right? Used it in Fight Club all the time. It was great. I look at this today. I didn't realize just how bad the HP growth is. I'm at literally the bottom of the
whisker
kind of
Thanks,
range.
Dags.
The whisker.
So the box and
Dags,
the whisker.
eyes on the rose, Dags. Eyes on the road. Yeah, so now I got to burn it.
Yeah, this warrior's got to go.
No, that is super good. What level is this warrior at?
17. I got 17? No time to fix him.
And it's interesting. You post this very same hero on the market, open market. I look at it just at face value. I see 47 strength, and it's like, it's not a half bad hero, but it's not until you do the digging, you kind of find out it's probably not as good as you might think it is. I mean, this is great. What a tool.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at strength, dex, agility, it's above average in all of those. Right above the box.
Not bad.
Well, vitality's not great either.
Great intelligence rolls,
which is weird for a warrior, right? But it's also a ninja sub, so I was excited about that and what that might allow for once subclasses are released. I loved it. I'm definitely burning it with another level 17 legendary warrior, but I just got to find one. But yeah, it's changing the way I'm looking at things. So another added tool.
Oh boy, let me plug this in. Couple of things. One, 35 viewers, guys. Come on, 5 more, and France gives away that Dex Archer.
I think we're in price discovery. By the way, we're past all-time high on viewership, I believe. So
Nice, love it.
we could go parabolic from here. I don't know.
What 23 likes though, guys? Come on, tell your friends, get
That's
people in here.
sorry, but you're pushing us to the all-time high. You should be taking a lot more credit here.
Oh, get out of here! No,
Now you're
get outta here.
flexing on us.
Oh, what? No, what? So I wanted to sort of mention this. If you are new to DFK and we don't know what we don't know. We're speculating. What makes a good hero, and that answer is probably always going to change, right? But this is a good sort of, a factual, non-biased way to sort of go at hero buying. Again, if you have two equally priced heroes and you're deciding between one and another, I mean, what a better tool than and again, tell us about this tool, because maybe people didn't watch that stream, friends. Where do people get it? And how do people get to this piece here specifically? Guy,
you want to go?
adfk.app.
There it is. And it is part of their paid feature. It's a jewel over time type setup where the more it's exponential as far as the more time you buy, you get that much more. We're not the ones to explain that, but it's a great tool. And not just for this, they have a hero matcher, stuff like that. But at this point, I'm not going to buy a hero that I'm serious about keeping and playing with without looking at that box chart and seeing kind of where he stacks up among other heroes, because we have these preconceptions about like, oh, it has this much strength, I'm good to go. That warrior is a good example of how misled we could be. And I think that segues us into kind of a good topic to talk about next. For new players coming in, right? There's so many things they don't know, but they all want to be competitive. They all want to be the best, right? What advice would you give to a new player that's coming in and it's like, hey, I want to make my mark on this DFK community, right? I don't want to just put my jewel into the jeweler and earn a small percentage. No, I want to play the game. Where would you point them? What would you do if you were just starting out today? What do we got? And chat, chime in as well, because you guys are all smarter than we are.
Bob, nothing. Don't tell friends that. I want to see him burn his level 17 warrior. Don't give him ideas. No, burn it. He's saying don't look. Yeah, there you go.
Interesting. I'm probably gonna burn it anyway. But again, with another level 17 warrior. But also the way I'm looking at it is there are only 3 more levels to make that up. I'm looking at it as we're not going to be leaving level 20 for a long time. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'm not going to be burning it tomorrow, so there'll be more.
And maybe here's the other piece too for you, friends. If anyone listening, right? You kind of we're at a stage where you kind of have to start picking and choosing which heroes you're leveling up, because
it's expensive.
It's expensive, right? So maybe this hero is a forgotten hero. You're just gonna abandon the guy because it's if you're gonna focus your money and effort on a hero to level up, that's not the one to do it on. But going back to your question of what would you tell someone who is new and coming into the game, at this point I would say yes, you can find a really awesome team for boar hunts. Priest, archer, knight. That's sort of my go-to as well. And I see Gaikid, he's getting ahead of me on this. I'll let him crunch the numbers, but you don't have to break the bank to sort of get in here. Get your feet wet. Figure out how things work, how things function, some of these skills. You'll come to find out that mana is maybe more important than you think it is. Particularly in an archer or a priest, but you won't find those things out unless you listen to over 500 hours of streams here, or you just jump here and you try it out. And if you're gonna try it out, pennies on the dollar. It's not it's a nice way to sort of again just introduce yourself to the game and learn about it. Again, once you get your feet wet, you can jump to the box side, of things. You can check out the Wowies of the world. 6 interns developing some cool, sort of game strategy. I'm gonna miss others, right? Jewelers, they do game discussion. I think
Sir Worm coming up next.
Sir Worm
coming up right after this.
Yeah, catch him. But hey, start small. Guy Kid, I saw you crunch numbers. What did you just crunch?
Yeah, so short answer, like if you want to be playing the game, Boar's Hunt is where you should be at right now. And for 15-20 bucks, you can comfortably get into boar hunts and play a good couple of rounds. You can get for 150 crystal, you can buy a decent level 10 archer, knight, and priest. So 450 crystal in total, which is about 11 bucks today. And that can get you to start actually playing the game and testing it out, getting comfortable with it. If you've got those kind of next price points that you want to be experimenting with other things, you want to be looking at summoning, like level 10 or 10 summon gen 1s are a great place to start from a summoning perspective, but those get a little pricier. So you want to be, I'm only looking at those specific classes right now. But so you want to like do a little more research before you jump into the summoning realm. Because I remember Franz and I will both admit when Jewel was worth a lot more than 50 cents, 75 cents, we both jumped right into summoning and we both made mistakes very, very early. I think the first hero that we bought was a Gen 3 hero that we summoned 2 Gen 3s together, and we didn't realize that the cost of summoning was like 4 times more expensive of summoning a Gen 3 than a Gen 1. So there's a lot of other layers from the summoning game that you'll definitely want to consume some concept and let's look at some things. But boar hunts are a great way to kind of jump in. And I echo everything you said, Sarge, of get involved in the community. There's a ton of Discords out there. We mentioned ADFK's website. We have an awesome ADFK Discord with an awesome community there too. You of course have the core DFK Discord channel as well.
Yeah, great guild with ADFK. It's much better than the Honk guild. From what I've heard. No, but jokes aside, so I'm going to take a different kind of spin on this, right? Yes, you can get in dirt cheap. But Guy, you mentioned when we first got in, we were so excited about this game. I put more money than I'm comfortable admitting here right now into the game all at once. Because it was just so exciting. It was like, this is the game. I want to be a part of it. So I did a little calculation before the stream, right? Do you think there are people out there that would think that 500 is too much to put in? Or do you think that's a fair, like, yeah, all right, if I'm going to get into this, $500, that's something that I can spend, right? Fair?
That's fair. You can do a lot with 500.
Sure. For $500, you can make yourself, you can get level 10 legendary priest, archer, and knight. Not just one of them. You can get 2 of each of those and a greater stone of the key stat of each. You can summon them together with that greater stone, and for $500, I think it was like $450 it came out to with my calculations, you can have some of the top heroes in the game immediately. You can have stoned heroes that, yeah, you're going to need some crystals to get them up to the level. Not totally necessary, though. But, Guy, are you checking my math right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
I hope that it turns out that I'm right. No, so for not very much, right? You can have top heroes in the game. I think we're still in that stage where people are kind of just going with the heroes they have, and something that, shout out Bob Nothing, shout out Workhorse, who's done it on Twitter, and Samich was the first one that I saw do it with the Dark Summoning Pit. Take advantage of that and make heroes that are better than the boxes on those box plot. Go for whisker heroes. Towards the tips of
there you go.
Yeah,
top of the whisker.
The other thing I would do, if I want to speculate a little bit, PJ heroes. Not very expensive right now.
Oh, you're probably right there.
I was looking at them the other day. Not the greatest stats, but if we're in a PJ only land tournament, I don't know. What are we at?
And if you're talking,
I have filters on still.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it was like 400 crystal 4. Go ahead, though, Sarge.
No, I was going to say, and if you're talking exclusive NFTs, I mean, these are heroes, for those of you who don't know, these are heroes that you'll never be able to, you can't summon PJ heroes, you can't dark summon PJ heroes. These are the heroes that will ever exist, and from all, and from all we've heard, they will if they don't unlock land tournaments, they're certainly going to be unlocking some very special features for us PJ Hero holders.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it's type of thing where the content that is to come, like we don't know what's going to come. I think dark summoned heroes, or maybe at this point dark summoned heroes, could have something where they unlock special content. PJ definitely could have special content they unlock. Gen Zeros, we already saw it with, and I know we're talking about a very different price range now, but we already saw it with PJ. Gen Zeros gave your groups that you sent a boost for survival, right? And they automatically survived. So we've seen the team do things in the past where they've given benefits to people that have held special things. One thing I do want to mention before we get any further, because I meant to mention this at the top of the stream, we are doing a giveaway tonight for a Visage, a full set Visage, not just the head, not just the full one. They're not technically out yet, but to enter that, and I'm going to start typing it into the wheel of names, I'm going to need to see hashtag where's Maddie in the chat to enter. So if you want to get in on that, going to be giving away a Visage of your choice, because I think they're the same price, if not the cheapest one. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, sorry to sidetrack the conversation with that, but wanted to get it out there as we are
That's
getting
awesome.
late in the day now.
No, I know, I love it. So many strategies, though. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I think if you're new to the ecosystem and you're just focusing on on Jewel, and you're intrigued and you're into what you're seeing, you're doing yourself a disservice by only focusing on Jewel. The game's got so much to offer. You're only scratching the surface of Jewel. um you guys need a dedicated stream where you talk about all the things you can do within DFK outside of owning some of these power tokens. Friend Sky Kid Maddie, who's not here, because there is so much to do, and I mean it's hard to cover in one stream. But that's where I would like the focus to be on. For those of us who talk about DFK, because I know, yeah, Jewel, we want to see Jewel pump. Jewel pumping is good, but I these heroes are awesome. It's I don't know. I don't. There's just so much. There's so much, man.
Yeah, no, and I think that's something that we all, as a streaming community, need to push out more content based around beginner. Like, we all like the talk show type streams as a community. I think that's what we get every week from everyone. I love those because I've been here and I know the basics. But for people coming in, I think we all need to commit to some more beginner content. And I know Jewelers put something out recently, so shout out to them. A few people have put things out that I'm not going to be able to name all of them, but we need more stuff like that. It would be very good. Is there anything else we wanted to touch on? Guy, do you have any summons?
I do not. I thought I did.
I've got a
Hey,
few.
I'll sanity check too.
While you're pulling this up, maybe we end on this topic. Dark market.
Oh yes. Do you want to lead us off there, Sarge?
Yeah, KP's been working on this very awesome tool. He's teased it out a couple times now. But there's something he's developing called the dark market, that should come to market sometime soon. And essentially the idea is, it's an NFT marketplace, not just for, yes, the intention is to sort of have and sell some of your DFK assets, specifically some of your high price sort of assets here. Maybe it's a pair of Gen Zeros, right? Without necessarily needing sort of a middle person. This would all be done in a trustless fashion, right? And it's a pretty neat way to sort of package up some of these deals. I know you were talking, France, earlier about not being able to necessarily transfer one wallet, one account over to a different person. Well, this may be a way to sort of go about that, be able to transfer an account without necessarily having to worry about you giving up your seed phrase or private keys. It's super cool, super neat. It's I'm interested. I know, like,
Yeah.
you all, there may be heroes that you want to sell, but they only make sense selling as a pair, right? And it doesn't necessarily just have to be Gen Zeros. I've got a pair of heroes with advanced traits that make sense selling together.
Yeah.
But you have to find an interested buyer who wants to buy those two together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the idea that, and so I have 3 Gen Zero pairs, and each of them have 3 advanced matches to them. Not flexing, but those are valuable together. If I were to sell them separately, they're just normal Gen Zeros, but together as a pair, right now, my only avenue is the DGen dungeon, and messaging people. And I actually bought them from Ben Friend, who just messaged me knowing that I'm a DGen and I might buy them, and I did. Right, having a place where you can sell things together, and take it a little bit further. Right, we're down the road in PvP now, and you have a hero that has double toxic, a dagger that has a toxic or a poison boost, and I don't know, a helm that gives you poison resistance. I don't know. It's the best poison hero you can have. Separately, pretty cool. You'll fetch a nice, but together, that's a meta right there. That you can have the poison meta. You can buy it.
And even thinking bigger than that, right? I mean, think of, there is that tournament. You've won, friends. You've won. You have an awesome team, and you want to sell that winning team to the highest bidder. I mean, how cool would that be, sort of as a player, to be able to package
Ooh,
the 3 heroes into a
yeah,
one package deal, and let the bidding war commence.
yeah. The championship squad, buy them, and you can win the next one. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you have here? What's on screen?
Yeah, what are we doing?
So my Gen Zeros, little untraditional in the sense of I actually have 2 thieves, and I summon a ton of thief Gen 1s, but I've got to the point that they have 2 matching abilities, and they also have matching subclass. So my Gen 1 goals are to be able to summon a thief with a Dark Knight subclass with 2 advanced abilities. So I'm now at the point where I've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 thieves with Dark Knight subclass that I want to start creating some Dark Knights with Dragoon subclass. So in order to do that, I need archers with Paladin subclass.
Interesting.
So I've been like looking at there's pretty much nothing on the market of archer Gen 1s or Gen 2s with Paladin subs. So I've been trying to recreate them on my own. This is my first pair of attempting that. If you've seen me clicking around, you can see I am 0 for 5 so far. Of the subclass has not mutated once yet. So I'm off to a great
Time for a
start.
hit, though, and I have a good luck charm before you hit the button. He's my personal good luck charm. We have Maddie Desk.
Oh, can you hear me?
All the where's Maddie got him in here.
Wow.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you. What's up?
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I'm here for the giveaway.
Of course you are.
Unbelievable.
Who do you think you are, Sarge?
Yeah, he usually shows up for the giveaways. No, welcome. Anything to add from the discussions tonight? Summarize it all in a minute.
Yeah, I caught it, but I do want to make a funny comment of soulbound the void shards, and like the whole thing of like paying for the expensive thing. It reminded me of Pokemon Red when you got the bike voucher, and the bikes were like $1 million, but the bike voucher like got it for you. So hypothetically, if you had $1 million, you could buy the bike, but the voucher lets you. I feel like that's the same thing with the void shards.
You might have to pitch that to the team. Maybe they'll make a bypass and give themselves another revenue stream from it for people who don't have void shards.
How did Maddie just show up and just sound smarter than any of us did the entire stream? Just saying.
It's because I referenced Pokemon. It's like
low standard on what constitutes smart, but that's fine. Anyone else that wants to get in to the giveaway here, comment where's Maddie or there's Maddie now, I guess. But we have a few under the 30 that are viewing. I'm one of the people viewing, so there'll be 29, I guess.
Enter twice. That's what I heard.
Let's see. Did Guy get he got the archer?
I got the archer. So we're going for a paladin subclass. That's the goal. And we got another knight subclass. Did have one advanced ability with one mutation chance, and the advanced ability carried over.
Okay.
So not a complete miss, but pretty much a miss.
Yeah, I'd call it a miss.
Is the paladin in the recessive?
No, so I'm going for a mutation on the
But
subclass.
is the paladin
Yeah,
in
did
the
it-
recessive so that it would make it
Subclass.
Did it save?
easier?
It didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Boo, burn.
But we're now at a point now that there's only 4 summons left. So
Burn it right away.
to speed
Nice.
things along here.
Now this gets me hyped up. That's the other advice to new players: burn all your heroes.
Yeah,
Oh no,
nothing can be
that's
burned.
actually, and we're late in the show, so we're gonna probably have to get into it next time. But that's one thing I did want to talk about. I'm buying up as many heroes as I can right now. Hearing Hubert talk about this hero burn mechanic that's coming up, I'm very excited for that. I think it's going to be beneficial to have heroes to burn. However it happens, we're still at the early stages. It might take a while, but I'm excited for that.
So you're buying them with the intent that you'll burn them in this
Yeah,
new.
well, I just want a larger army. Sarge,
Okay.
you looked like you were gonna add something there.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jules pumping, Crystal, Jade, you've seen some small increases. One of those assets you've not seen sort of reflect what's happening elsewhere are heroes and hero prices. So I mean, you're kind of spot on if you're ever looking to sort of build an NFA.
I mean,
if you're ever looking to build up that army, I mean, now may be your last chance.
there's more to the theory, right? There's expeditions are coming, potions are coming. I am very bullish item prices, and having the larger item. I mean, the larger army. We saw Tad putting out videos and different people talking about how much they made having a large hero army, and that was during a bear market when there was no utility for these items. So I don't know. Who am I? I'm just
Right, but
know.
I mean, like you're just looking for good heroes that you like. Maybe you'll burn. Like I feel like the idea of purchasing heroes with the sole purpose of you're going to burn them later. I don't know if it's like the
Well,
best.
no. So
know.
I'm getting professional aligned heroes.
Okay, all right.
I think
Right,
they're
like,
going to be
worst
ones
case,
that
they'll
I will
just
be
part of
okay
your, like,
burning.
They'll just be your workers.
Yeah, they're just part
Yeah.
of the army.
Yeah.
Bob Nothing saying bullish fishers. I know he's Bob's a very well-renowned meme coiner in the community. So he's big on DFK bloater right now. I saw him tweeting about it. He's a big meme guy. He likes being known as that. So yeah.
I mean, we've got the archer.
Got Archer.
What do we
guys
think,
still
guys?
here?
It's gonna be common. I'm
Did
sorry.
you freeze again? You went off camera.
Yeah, I froze.
Yeah.
Good pose.
That's a pretty good one. I'd leave that one up. That
Yeah.
could be your new profile pic.
Pally or rug? Oh, what a rug!
How do I even get a comment? Is that even
It was
possible?
common. Whatever.
You put
Can
in
I
two
throw him
comments,
back in the
didn't you?
pit? Double duel.
No, it was uncommon and one uncommon and one common.
Guy, do you not know how the dark summoning pit works yet? Because I do it often on stream.
I know. You should not be throwing commons into the pit.
My
Kind of
goal is to
defeats
get
the
these
purpose
two
of
to
it.
buy some legendaries and throw them in together.
I
Alright, later.
sent you. I have 2 pairs.
And guy left.
Ooh,
I just
he
totally
stormed off. He didn't like your comment yet again.
Whether or not intentionally, we'll never know. But
I might be doing a legendary pair soon. I sent you that
Okay.
one I had.
I said I liked it.
Yeah.
All right.
Although I don't know. Man, this is a whole other topic of like going for the vitality one. I don't feel as good about that.
I could pull up a hero. My knight that I did greater vitality stone.
Yeah.
I think I might do greater vitality stone on all of them going forward. The
Ma-
HP is just so nuts.
Yeah.
Like I'm at level.
Maddie-
Yeah.
No, I was saying, Maddie, in the words of the illustrious Guy Kid, when they zig, you zag. I don't know. Maybe Vit isn't the way to go anymore because everyone's
Yeah.
vitting. Saying,
I don't know. It's having that extra, starting with like a 25 Vit. Like I don't know. I'm getting plus 100 Vit
Right.
or plus 100 HP per level, and that's on a knight. It's a high Vit character,
Right.
but I just think that it's going to create such a discrepancy.
Well, because
I'm
like
excited
so
about it.
Knight, so especially Knight and those big vitality ones, they're like 75 to 80% chance of being the middle HP or the high HP. And the middle HP is times 1 your vitality, and the high is like times 1.5. So even if you're hitting that middle one and it's 25, that's already such a massive boost to the level up. Like,
Yeah, so I'm right now leveling up to 2 legendary pirates. So pirate sub, pirate, primary. And I
nice.
recently switched from leveling them up Dex because I thought I wanted Dex pirate to now going Vid. Getting a bulky pirate, a big boy. Guy, you doing more summoning?
I don't think so. I checked my other
Should we do the
yeah, I'm here for the giveaway.
giveaway and wrap?
Do it.
Sounds good.
Do it.
All right, here we go.
Let's see it.
Wheel of names. Last chance for anyone to get on. I'm 90% sure I have everyone's name on here. And just for fun. Prince keeps it being added. We're gonna shuffle these up. And this is for a full visage set.
Wait, did you say bloater or
dealer's choice?
Dealer's
They're the same price, right?
Yeah.
Or not dealer. I guess I'm the dealer in this sense, not dealer's
I
choice.
feel like go with the gi because you get
Winner's
the
choice.
you get the airdrop.
Yeah, but the bloater's so much cooler.
Bloater is cool, yeah.
Bloater is cool.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
All right.
be buying the bloater.
Here we go.
I want
come
bloater
on.
head and the key. There.
Now, do you need to buy 3 visages? Is that?
Oh
what-
no way!
No
No way! Yes!
Respin that, please.
All right, I'm
Very
gonna
fair.
remove this right here. Actually, I'm gonna leave you in because it'd be funny if you hit.
If
twice
I
in a row.
win twice, I'm taking it because fate's spoken.
Shuffling.
No,
He
change
said-
it to Sarge keeps it.
All right. He did say,
Whatever,
"Where's
don't-
Maddie?" in the chat, so that's why I threw him in there.
I said, who is Maddie? I mean,
Well.
counts.
All right, here we go. Wheel of names clearly rigged.
Beginning to think it's not so random.
Ooh,
Sir Worm.
excellent.
Sir Worm! And shout out to Sir Worm. Right now, or in 7 minutes at least, go over to his channel. I've tried dropping a link in here before and it didn't work out well, but I'm going to try again. Go over to his channel. He starts at 10:30. Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't know what else to say
7:30
there.
where it counts. And he's having Ultra Gringo on, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, he is? Okay. I didn't know that. So yeah, definitely do that. I definitely want to hear what Ultra Gringo has to say about visages and things like that, because he's a collector.
He's like a
And-
collector guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've
There he
mentioned
is.
on stream
There he is,
before.
Tavern Tales, DFK.
Yeah, I've mentioned on stream before that when I saw his first stream, it kind of opened my eyes that there's a whole other section of like player out there besides like the ones that are just in here to be just a gamer, and like, you know, like the collector side of it isn't something I really thought about. So it's interesting.
Love it, love it. Eddie, were you here to hear me butcher the intro?
No, you did great.
Oh, I did. Okay, all right. I think I'm invited back, guys.
You are. You have an open invite whenever
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
like.
Oh, you
And
got it in there.
catch-
Nice.
Catch Sarge Friday night as he has his roundtable of various streamers. Very
Yeah,
late at night on Friday.
When are you going to be on again?
I mean, whenever he wants me back. I was on once or twice. It's just very
Friday.
late, and I need my yeah. I'm there Friday. In.
He's like, son of a.
I
bitch.
need my beauty sleep. I get sleepy. I don't have the same energy. I
I
get very
hear ya.
sleepy.
I've got a kid too. Sometimes I hate hating myself. Sometimes.
Oh no, I don't have a kid. I'm just a deadbeat. I get tired early. No, but yeah, I'm in. All right. Final comments.
Thanks to Chad for
Um,
sticking with us for over an hour.
Yeah, thanks, chat.
Yeah, and we hit some pretty good record numbers here.
Yeah.
I still only see 25 likes, guys. Hit the like, hit the sub, comment.
Love it.
Catch you next time.
Cheers, Sarge.
Cheers. This has been another episode of Bogside Chats. Love you guys.
See ya.
Later.